Welcome to Game On, a video series promoting small businesses. It's one of those things right now. It's a tough time, so let's bring some awareness to the small businesses and really cool situation here by having some celebrity interviews as well. So, starting the show off with a big bang with a really high-end celebrity. He's known for his role on Full House as Uncle Joey. He's a comedian and he's an anchor on the Red Wing alumni team. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr.
I
Dave
am like an
Coulier.
anchor. Yeah, because everything stops when I'm on the ice.
Yeah, no, it's hey, you know what? You're known for a lot of things, but you're definitely part of the Red Wing alumni team, and we're happy to have you.
Well, you guys have adopted me like a bastard stepson, and I appreciate it. And I may not have the best hockey skills, but I'm there for the charity. I'm there for the charity. I didn't know you
But
had to be good to play on the alumni, though. It's like guys have that competitive spirit, and I'm like, oh, I made a mistake. I'm going to hear from it.
yeah, and we definitely give you some looks on the ice, but we're happy to have you.
Oh
Well,
no, he's out there again. It's like we're killing a penalty every time he's on the ice.
oh, yeah, it's we got to give the other team a little bit of an advantage. So I would
Yeah.
say you pass to them maybe more than you pass to us, but no, no, no. Dave, you actually surprised me. You do really well out there, and you fit right in with us. So
Oh,
it's
you're
always
just
a good
saying
time.
that now, but it's okay. We can do the interview.
So pretty much, I want to just get a little bit, give the viewers a little view into the life of Dave Coulier. And I think one of the biggest things right now for you is you made a transition back to Michigan. You and your wife Melissa are full time here. So what is it like being back full time? Anything you missed? And right now, small businesses are hurting. What are some of the small businesses that you support in your area, and you're looking forward to kind of getting back to once it's safe to?
Well, the first part of that is, my heart has always been in Michigan. I was born and raised in St. Clair Shores. My dad is still in the house I was born in. I think he's still in the same chair, actually. Uh, but he's become kind of the mayor of our street. He sits on the porch in the summertime, and ladies just bring him pies and cake and stuff. So, my heart has always been here, even though I was in California for, almost 4 decades. I left Detroit when I was a teenager. And if I could have lived back here in Michigan during all those years, I would have loved to. But, things being as they were, I had to drive to Warner Brothers every day, or Paramount Studios, or Fox, or somewhere, and it's really tough to commute when your daily drive is going to Burbank or Hollywood. So being back here is it's a gift. I love doing things like skating with the Red Wings alumni and participating in charities here, and it's been a bit of an adjustment, especially with the weather. You can't go
Yeah,
and play
that's
golf in January.
oh yeah.
But there's a certain charm with the people here that I have always missed, and I've always gravitated. I never felt home until I got back to Michigan, and so for me, it just feels right. It just feels like this is where I should be, and now I can work from home. We can do Zoom meetings, and we
Yeah,
can do
that's awesome.
TV pitches with my TV company. We can do TV pitches to networks where we're all Zooming, and it's certainly changed the landscape of my business for sure. And I think we'll see some major changes as to how productions are shows are produced and movies are shot. Certainly, we'll see some new things happening. But for me, the adjustment of being in Michigan has been pretty smooth and pretty great.
No, that's awesome. No, it's we talked about a lot about the alumni team, so I'm happy to have you back here so you can be a part of it and we can be on the ice together. So I know I'm happy to have you back, and And I know the adjustment to the four seasons is probably going to be the toughest thing for you. But I think watching Full House, one of the things I always got out of it was you guys always had advice. The music, it always was one of those things that drew people into that show, and you guys had the advice for the girls. Let's give the viewers and small business owners maybe a little bit of that Full House advice, kind of going forward now. It's tough times for people, and they're dealing with a lot. So if you have any of that Full House advice, let's maybe sprinkle a little bit out for them.
Well, I started here in Michigan, and I'm the smallest business you can be. I'm one guy, and I had to learn a lot about show business. Robin Williams once said to me, I know it's not good to name drop. Bruce Willis told me
Hey, you can do that. That's all right.
that. So he once told me, he said, you know, show business is 10% show and 90% business. And he couldn't have been more on the mark. So I thought it was all about being funny on stage as a stand-up and being a funny actor and doing funny voices. Well, I had to learn the business side of things. And I really had to understand that if I was going to make it, I was going to have to work extremely hard at the business side and be very disciplined, very focused, and certainly, you know, the creative side is a big part of it. But without learning the business skills, I was really going to go nowhere. And so for me, the whole business acumen that I had to learn wasn't really funny. But I had to kind of prioritize and categorize that part of what I do so that I could succeed.
Nice. I know we talked a little bit about being on the show, and you mentioned about just putting yourself out there, and don't worry about what people think or make mistakes. And I think that's something that really hit home for me when you said it to me, but also I think for business owners, you're saying, hey, put yourself out there, take a chance. And right now I think a lot of people are looking at what do you do next. So your advice was great for me. I think a lot of other people would take that as, hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to maybe pivot, make a change, do little things to kind of survive. And I think that's something that was really good advice that you gave me as well. Well, one more thing here before I let you go. You're known for your being funny. You got some great impressions and voices. Which one is your favorite one? And maybe would you throw a little bit of a line out there so all the viewers can get a little taste of it?
Uh, can we get to that in a moment? You brought something up that I think is really interesting, and I'd just like to talk about it for a second, if I may,
Yep.
which may help your viewers a bit. Occasionally, I do a lot of college stand-up dates, and afterwards I'll do a Q&A with the students, and they all kind of want to know the same thing. How do you get successful? And I would love to have a career just like yours, Dave. I'd love to be an actor, writer, producer, director. I'd love to do, you know, sitcoms and movies. And I said, well, what you have to not be afraid of is failing. And, you know, what I say to those students is, when you look at me, you're looking at one of the biggest failures that you're ever going to meet in your life. The one thing that I had to understand was, do not be afraid of failing. When you are failing, it just means that you're moving forward, that you're taking risks, that you're betting on yourself, and that you're taking chances.
Yep.
You can't be afraid of failure. Failure will knock you down. It will smack you right in the jaw. It will knock you flat on your keister. You can't be afraid of that, because there is a lesson learned in that. In every failure, there is a lesson learned, and you have to really go outside of your comfort zone if you're going to be successful. And that applies, I think, to every business. I think it is something that people are very afraid of, but every successful person that I've met you really have to go out on that ledge and then take the leap, or you're
For sure.
never going to get to that next level. I'm sure, Drew, in your professional career as a hockey player, you always had to try out. You had to go to camp. You had to, wait to get picked. But if you weren't out on the ice, if you weren't training, if you weren't going the extra mile and staying focused and, not being afraid of being cut, not being afraid of saying, we're not going to pick up your contract, or, we're going to send you back down. You couldn't be afraid of that. You just
Yeah.
knew that in order to be successful, you had to stay focused, you had to get with the program, and you had to do whatever it took to be a professional hockey player. And a lot of parents, they look at their kids and say, my kid's going to be a pro. Well, when you look at it, being a professional is like 0.01% of all athletes become a player in the National Hockey League or the NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball player or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it just takes that extra mile. And from my personal experience, when we talk about the Red Wing alumni, I've skated, I played squirt here in Michigan and, played all the way through junior. I played at Notre Dame High School for 3 years. Our alumni, John Blum, was my defense partner at
Oh
Notre
yeah,
Dame.
Blummer.
Plumber. And when I play with beer league guys, there's some really good players. But then when I jump on the ice with you guys, there is an extra spark, an extra jump, an extra something that you guys have that a really good player doesn't. And it's because you guys went the extra mile, and it was all here. You can
Yeah, I
train and
definitely
have,
think it's that mindset. I mean, you
yeah,
don't have to be a professional. So like you talked about the 0.01% people making it to the actual league, but you don't have to make it to the league to have that mindset. So I think that's the biggest thing that a small business owner, any individual, just have that mindset that hey, you know what, I'm going to be my best. I am going to go the extra mile. I don't have to have the title of professional athlete or professional anything, but I can still have a mindset and want to act like they did, have the
mhm.
habits that they did, and all that. So I don't know, I like that advice a lot.
Yeah, and I think that you know when you can compare yourself to a lot of people. You can say, "Oh man, I wish I had that guy's business or that guy's career," but really you have to understand that the only person you can really rely on and the only person you can really bet on is yourself. And you need to prop yourself up. It's a lot of self-love. You got to love yourself, you got to love
For
what you're
sure.
doing, and you got to stay focused. It's really easy to go the path of least resistance and say, well, I'd like to do that, but it's just too hard. Too hard is the success story. Too hard is the formula for being a successful business. And
Yep.
even if you're a little business, just be really good at what you do. It's hard to be good at what somebody else does. And if you just make washers, you know, make sure that you put out the best, most economical, washers in the business. And you deliver that product to the market, and you have great customer service, and you have, great relationships. But bet on yourself. No one is walking in your shoes other than you. And so
Sure.
don't be afraid to walk in those shoes and take risks. And I think if you do, get out of your comfort zone and bet on yourself, you'll be really happy when you start to get successful.
Great advice. Great advice there. I appreciate that. And let's see. We'll circle back around to that little impression or impersonation or voice, whatever. I don't know. I don't know if it's a little too early for you or what, but I don't know.
um, here's my favorite, and only you and I and a handful of people are going to know who this impression is. It's my impression of Eddie Mio. Hey, Cooler, let me, that guy is so full of it. He's so full of himself. can we just have fun? This should be fun out here. You know, we're Red Wings alumni. We're out here for the charity. And where's my flask? Does somebody have my flask? I had a
Yeah.
flask here.
Yeah. Eddie Mio, goaltender, Red Wings, longtime alum. That's him to a T.
or, or here's Blummer. that guy, that guy. I'm telling you, that guy's unbelievable, man. He's. Could you even believe? Could you even believe that guy played in the show?
Oh, that's too funny.
Two very obscure impressions
Oh yeah.
that only a handful of us are gonna know.
Oh yeah. No, that's too funny. Well, Dave, I appreciate your time coming on the show. Game On is all about bringing awareness to small businesses. So viewers, you guys watch this celebrity interview. Keep an eye out for interviews with small business owners. We're going to try to highlight them and give them some time up on social media and some some love. So once again, Dave, awesome having you. And till next time, see ya.
Thanks, Drew. Hopefully, I'll see you on the ice soon.
I know.